welcome and good afternoon to everyone. As you remember, my name is Mikko. I'm from the Outotec Accelerator part, and then we have Dimitri here as well, and then Erkki from the project, and of course we have our coach Jyri.
Hello.
I will share my screen just briefly. This is a kind of a formality that I introduce the project to you. So this Outotec Accelerator is operating under the NBB-SF project, and this project is supported by Southeast Finland Russia cross-border collaboration program and funded by the EU, Russia and Finland. And here you can see all of the upcoming workshops. Day before yesterday we had customers and feedback, which in my opinion went really, really great. I got good feedback from the coach that everyone was active, and that's a great thing. So yeah, today business model workshop, and then all of this you can see in the calendar link that I have sent you via email. The whole calendar is there. But yeah, I think we can start without wasting any time, and I will introduce Jyri Arponen from Sitra, and I have sent you a little bit information about him, but maybe he can tell a little more if he so wishes. But yeah, Jyri, I think you can start speaking now. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope you enjoy the ride. I have a lot of slides in the beginning, but then we do some work as well, and we are concentrating on the business models. I've been doing this not too long, 25 years, in different side of the table. I started actually with European Union issues and how we can Europeanize our companies, and how can they have a successful future in that way, that understanding what are the needs and sort of requirements to be international more and more, mainly SMEs, but of course big ones as well. While we joined European Union, there were new regulation, new possibilities, and it was kind of new world. So that was something new. But I already then, and also worked for the Ministry of Trade and Industry and made business analysis with the companies. And when I ended there, I was responsible of funding instruments and all the activities that they did in Southwest Finland. And then I went to ad business. I was charge of kind of a small company, and my job was to sort of create the whole company, sort of reinvent the company and make it a big one. And it's rather big right now. And I was also in a global network, in a board of global network of not advertising, but the communication agencies. And my task was actually the competitive strategies, business strategies, brand strategies, and things like that, taking care of customers. But more and more the green issues, not only greenwash, but the demand for the sustainable businesses came bigger and bigger. And then I went to Sitra as a business director and started with the bioeconomy, food industry, local food, and always about the supply chains, how to create new business models, how to make strategies in that. And then we made a national strategy for bioeconomy, and then I started with industrial ecology. We had the industrial symbiosis program where we have 500 process industry companies, and also I was also looking for investment. So then we were still investing in startups, and so it was mainly sort of it was not only, and also some equity, but it was venture funding more or less. And we were there in the beginning, and it takes like 8 years for a new company to actually a little bit make some sort of scale in this type of new, when you, for example, in clean tech and a sort of circular economy company who have a new idea, have a new culture, needs a new regulation. And then you have the typical barriers or challenges when you are a startup. So you are adding these when you are going to the sort of new business era or culture. So nevertheless, I'm here to, and now I'm more and more towards data economy and been doing a sort of handbooks, we call them playbooks, for manufacturing industry, chemical industry, sort of growth initiative group, which is 150 SMEs in Finland, and now also with Nordic innovation. And you can I give you the link so you can download the playbook. It's also a very good book for you if you're a startup and thinking new, because you have to understand the value chain and the changes there and the business ecosystems and what could be the hotspot for you to grow and offer your services. Because nowadays the bigger companies don't try to own the whole value chain, but they need good partners, technology providers, and so on. And now starting to work more and more with data economy and those issues as well. But that's it. Enough about me.
Jyri, sorry for interrupting. I forgot to say in the beginning, if the participants could name themselves as such in the chat, name, surname, and then project, so it's easy to identify which project you belong to. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Very good. So this is what we are here about, business model, and I have a sort of. You are sharing, yes. Why doesn't change to? Yeah. Okay, so I have a little prologue and orientation, and then we go for this, and we stop at 3 p.m. Finnish time. Yes. Okay. This is me. You know, just to mention that I've been doing this a lot throughout the world, and a lot with this industrial sort of playbook with the business models, how to change your business model to circular for real. But more and more it's been like always like inspiring business action, and this type of companies maybe recently a lot been working with. So they are big ones, but there are small ones as well, and I will tell you a little bit more of these, some of these, but both for also in consumer business, but also very much with the B2B as well. So this is just an I'm always talking about this, where we are right now actually in the world, and I think that the biggest mega trend is actually sustainability and responsibility and the thing that you are actually doing business about it as well. So it's not only about mitigating and reserving, but it's also new business opportunities and possibilities. And why is this the biggest one? I think that I don't have to say the word, and it's been like this for you know, since see, somebody's coming. Since this is always my favorite cover. I'm always looking where the world is right now, is from the cover of The Economist. And as we can see, I think the left-hand side is still there, although the economy is actually blooming. But if you think about and it's kind of polarized economy, that the service sector is really suffering, but many other industries are doing actually quite well. And of course the global situation has changed in the COVID, and now there's huge hopes about a better future. But that's why, you know, what we do today is really about how our future will look like in the future. And this is something that everyone must understand, that if you're doing your business model, you cannot only have one dimension of this sustainability. You have to have the social one, and you have to have the ecological one, but also financial one, the economic sustainability, because it actually that enables you to do better. Whatever you do, you always need some sort of mean of exchange, and usually it's money. And then you have to also, you have different type of measuring value. Of course, money is here, but ecological can be CO2. It can be how you are diminishing the how you use natural resources, and the ecological is very much about humans' well-being. So this has to be in balance. So if you are inventing something like, you want that it's very ecological, like don't heat up your houses during the winter, it doesn't actually it's not so clever business idea, because then these two other ones are suffering. And so there has to be a balance. just to remind you. And this is in practice how we see the change. They all bigger companies have very concrete actions towards this sustainability balance, and this is very typical. Minimizing the footprint, what we are doing, what that we are affecting bad things to our environment, and then on the other hand, what are the good things. And this is a solution, or sorry, possibility for many companies to jump in. And this is actually what they are doing. There is a lot of different type of way to engage smaller innovative companies to these big ones, and usually it goes from with accelerating programs, with different type of workshops, and they are all the time seeking for to acquisitions to do sort of buying in or starting a partnership with the new fresh companies. But this is reality, and everyone actually these companies are in some level of this sustainability and actually also circular economy. And of course, if this attract investors as well. Nobody wants to invest in Poison Ltd or child labor Ltd, but it has to be this social and economic, social and ecological governance behind. And once Sitra is still the fund of funds, so we only invest into the funds that actually have the sustainability in their strategy, and they can verify that. So it means that you have to have a follow-up and actual proof that this is really happening. And yes, why I'm bringing this up, this is everywhere right now and everybody is talking about it. And actually we started this work with the McKinsey. I was responsible of the study that we made for Finland, that what are the possibilities and benefits for those and for Finland. And we took those industrial sectors that are have a biggest impact to the environment, but to the economy as well. And then we understand that this is a huge potential. But then when we made it, actually, usually you talk about potential, you talk about the savings, you talk about the efficiency, which is the basics sort of circular economy. How you can reduce usage of material, how can you have a better, how you can better processes, how you can be more use less material, less energy, ensure the time, and how you can change your processes like just in time and such and such and such. So, but actually the opportunities are the new ones, where you, with the help of the new technology, you can actually generate new revenue streams. And this is not just something that few companies, it's starting to be actually mainstream. So this is not just something that some Finnish companies are doing, but this is a global phenomenon that is taking place. And these were like, I think that you all know, but these were like forerunners. And maybe the biggest change was in Michelin, because this remanufacturing and refurbishing and recycling of materials has been there already for some years. With, if you think about the industrial ecology, that was very much about that. And also this sort of thinking of loops, how you can remain the value, but it was and combine the loops and prohibit leakages in your processes. But that has been already in the industry. The new thing was this type of new thinking. Michelin started with recycling these tires because they were actually burning them from, for example, in the mines where they had these big dumpers and so on. Somebody is jumping in again. Then there was a lot of competition coming also with their businesses in Europe, and then they started to figure out what would be the next level in their business model and next level with their growth strategy, and they started with this idea of following up these tires. They put the sensors in, and once they had the information, the data, they could say that how much you use your tires. And then they came up with the service, that tires as a service, meaning that you pay fee based on how much you use your tires, and then you pay a monthly fee, but then you can be sure that you have 100% uptime all the time. It doesn't matter what the weather is, but and whatever the conditions are, my tires are always okay. And what is the benefit? You don't have to invest to this every second year, a huge investment if you are a truck business or you have your own truck. But that was only the beginning, and now they are expanding with their partners in the huge ecosystem that they will and actually they already have some of these services like road services, weather services, whatever services you think you need, even restaurant services, as you know, Michelin is very famous, and so on and so on and so on. So this becomes actually huge, and they are waiting to get 3.5 billion out of this within these let's say 5-7 years out of this business model. So it's a huge business as well. And we have very good examples in Finland as well. I've been almost working with all of these companies. And for example, just telling you that Valtra, for example, they had first this Riemann system, but now they have this sort of system inside the new tractors that they actually sell. So it's not only the machine that or product that they sell, but it's a huge system of different type of services, remotely operations, optimizing how you fertilize, how you run your engine, what type of route you take. It will be automated, everything. And why is it good? The biggest problem with the, for example, sort of manufacturing industry is the product phase, and that's the biggest possibility for you as well. How your customers are using the product, because usually it's not so well operated. As you know, when you drive a car, when you drive whatever you have, when you drive a tractor, they can optimize the best speed, the best way to drive, the best way to take a route, and the best way to optimize how the engine is functioning, and everything will be optimized remotely. So you are diminishing the emissions, prolonging the life cycles, and the product use. So there are many benefits in that. And this is actually, I try to go faster with this prologue because this is very important. I think that everybody who is actually starting a business, that what is the value that you are really recreating? Because actually many, for example, in manufacturing and many other companies who are producing something, your problems and focus is in the process of production. And we Finns, for example, we love raw material and the processing of that. And that's why we are very effective in that. I think that's not our primary problem, actually, at least in Finland. Because then you have eco-design, you are thinking which material you use, you try to prolonging the life cycles, you try to be very effective, resource efficient, you start to think about afterlife, what will take place, what type of services you bring in. But that's mainly about cost savings and in the company. But of course, with the digitalization and this, you can start to offer this to your customers as well and expand your business that way. But the other thing which is very interesting, like the example I told you about Valtra, how to generate new revenue streams. And that's very, very interesting because you can have it by, of course, new services, new markets, extended product portfolio. It's huge, and also premium pricing because and this risk production and brand enhancement is that there's a sort of long-term effects that you have and intangible benefits that you get. But you really, that's why you have to verify your supply chain and everything that you do in your company. And this is very good slide because this actually opens you up. And if you see these type of presentations, they don't talk too much about the value creation and customer orientation. And I think those two things are also for your business. Whatever you do it for your customer. Don't do it yourself, although you love it. So that's a very good one. So you have two type of create value. Of course, migration is here about that those companies who are not there, who are not on the road to change their business model, the more sustainable, the risk to shift revenues within the same industry is huge. If you don't start to do something, the business goes to elsewhere. But of course, if your timing is not right in the market, you have the same risk. So that's why you should sometimes start very small. And that's what the companies are actually doing, not eating the elephant as a whole, but starting with the small bites, starting with one business model, make that clear, start to make first envision, then start to create that, then do some experiment piloting, and then try to figure out how we can serve that to our customers, how we can go further, how we can adapt, change our own operation model, how we can make a scale. But that's all about creating value. And value creation is about you create value to your customer, you create value to yourself and everybody around the company. And this is where you can get more info when you can download this. It's a little bit different approach, but these left-hand side are maybe very close to each other. But as you know, chemical industry is really about the material. It's very much about, but there is also, but they have a leasing systems and different type of business model that are approaching in that business as well. And this is very good to understand that as well. This method is very simple. What you could do if you think about bigger customer, you should understand the present linear value chain or the ecosystem. Start to figure out what are the inefficiencies there. Where could we jump in to help them? What is their biggest problem? Where we can help in to help them? And usually it's about, as I told you, product use is mostly attractive. If you think about unexploited customer engagements, there are a lot of possibilities you can bring in to these companies, and they can serve their clients. So this is something also that when we have had many of these huge programs, this is something that everybody actually, they begin usually with material or capacity use or prolonging the life cycle. But then the customer or product use phase or service use phase is something that you find new hotspots where you can bring in new services. And this is also something that you really should, why is this customer orientation? It's crucial. And you have talked about already the value proposal. What can you really promise to your customer? But this is something that you have to understand. If there are pain points in the customer's journey, you could find out what are they with the other competitors, but what are the actual usual pain points for your customer when they are conducting the business? How can you help them with these? Do you have a solution for this? Customer pain points, huge issue. And here are the business model. I don't go too deep with these, but these actually, like I told you, this is the inputs. It consists all from sourcing, manufacturing, logistics, and also this recovery. This is something that is already there, and product life extension is widely adapted. But now also this sharing platform and product as a service is coming to all businesses. Instead of you have to sort of you optimize the usage, whatever you produce, to the many users, so you get more transactions daily than just single sale of. That's the benefits. And actually, this is also that you have to look more deeply while you are looking for this business model, that these are the sub models actually do the circulation. And here I think that you certainly have a hotspot to jump in all of these phases. And ecosystems, yes, they are really changing. And actually, I'm working with the marine business with the rather large companies who have they need really partners this as well. So this is really changing. But instead of looking for the loops that is taking place in the production, it starts with the user. It starts with your customer. What is the business model, what that they need? How shall we have the maintenance, and how we retain the value with the product and create that to your customer as long as possible with the same resources instead of using virgin materials and such. And here, these are the business models that are actually there in the use phase, the new ones, and these are rather traditional. This is mainly about the OPEX cost that you are diminishing, and this is where you are diminishing the CAPEX to your customer. And some very traditional in where they are using the recycled plastic in the company, but this is also recyclable. So this sort of very nice looking. So circular economy can be this as well. And like I told you, it can be a lot of like this, where this product life is like, let's say 5 times longer than usual compressors, and they can sell it by air. So their customers doesn't have to invest into this, but pay only based on the use and by the use of air by cubic meter. But they have other solutions there as well, and it's very high level products, high-tech product and sort of clean tech. It's sort of enabling also this circular economy. But this comes more and more important data, how we use that, how we collect that, how we manage that. Is it safe? How we can share that in a way that everybody benefits, for example, in our values chain and ecosystem. These type of questions are coming in. And if you have solutions for how to handle data better, how to find new solutions, how to get more benefits out of it, and new business models as well, you are very needed all around the world. Yeah, and yes, this is a lot about also this is just about the data and digital transformation. So this is enabling you to actually set up an factory as a service. So it's a possibility for you to start to be an supplier without having your own factory or having your own production site, if you understand your customers' need. And with this, you can manage the supply chain of certain components, and you can provide that to OEMs and other customers. But you can, I will send you these slides so you can read them and look them better. But this is also about the circular economy. It's not just material and processes and closing the loops. And like I told you, these are something that has really changed these, let's say, last 4 or 5 years, have starting to make this all come true. And it's coming more and more and more important. But everything is about this. We have, this sort of mindset change takes time, and values and behavior, how we really conduct our businesses, and also how you measure the things and how you think about that. So it's more about value creation, what I talked about. I don't know, I want to take that away wholly there, sorry. And internal, not only inside the company, but together, and this sort of open innovation is actually the true, and concentrate to your customer, just simply like that. And I think this is also very good, as you can see how it changes the innovation cycles from years to weeks or months. And that's what we've been also trying to do with our workshops and programs that we have had with different type of industries, that they have to, we have forced them to start to think about the pilot and start to do that rather quickly, and come up with the idea, and sort of think, act, learn quickly, and make that loop rather fast, instead of just think. Of course, it takes years if you are changing the whole material, or it's very, very huge change. But if you gradually starting to change your businesses towards new, you can start it with the easier ones, to starting to change also the culture and the innovation culture and everything in the company as well. All right, now I hope you are all awake, and we start to business model work. Usually many companies, they have a business plan, but now recent years, I think that I've been, and I'm still weekly talking with some startups. They sometimes call me, and usually my sort of, I'm not, the theory is always there, are very good ones. What you learn, it has to be there behind, and whatever is the substance, the content is king. You have to have that. The core must be very pure. But actually, the trick is something to do is you can simplify the beginning, and then you can add to your business plan different pieces that are missing. So don't try to have everything at the right place at the beginning, and take your customer as soon as possible to, and your partners, to figure this out with you. Ask them, talk with them. And this business model gunners had been there already years, but it's very good tool, and we have used it a lot. It's very simple, and I will show you, we have very even simplified from this, and where you start to figure out who is your customer, who is not only the market. Market is only huge usually, and we are saving the world, or we are changing the whole world, but think about what is the accessible the market, and then figure out who is the first customer who will pay something about it. Go deeper, and then on the other hand, think about how we change, how we do this possible. So what is your operational model? Operational model is something that happens inside the company and with your partners. Business model is always about your customer, how you create the value. And you have two sides, product size and market size. But if you are a startup, you always start to figure this out from your company's vision. So you start like inside out, because you don't have anything yet. You have your idea, you have to start to figure out, is this right one? But in an existing company, when they start to make a change or turnover, to change towards new businesses, they have to think about the market, and here is a other way around actually. Profitability is more about how profitable you do. It's more like cost-driven issues, how we do these things, and growth, how we get new revenue. So this is more like customer side, and this is internal. So there is a little, everybody's always asking them that, can we apply these ideas of circular economy or business model or this or that? Yes, you can, but your approach is a little bit different, and a little bit different thinking in a starting one. And when we do this actually with bigger companies, I'm always taking these sub-models as their own business model. So you have usually the vision statement of your company. That's sort of, we are for this and we are doing that. But then you have to have sort of clear-minded business model. Usually if you're a startup, you have one business model to start with. What is it? So, like I've been working, if you notice, what is it, open source company called Vaadin, which is now San Francisco based. I actually was, then I was working at company. We did the brand strategy for them. And I was also talking with them. If you look, I think it's vaadin.com. It's rather popular with these certain data developers. And actually, when I asked him that, what is your earning? Yeah, we have this code and everybody can download it and everybody can start to figure out, but what is where the money comes? Then they said, yes, actually it's now, it's manpower per hour. So then they try to assist these companies, for example, banks and financial institutions, how to use the code. And that was actually their business model. And what made it possible was the innovation that they did in their code. They were very good coding, and now it's going beyond that. I think that they have different type of business model there behind. But then they started to figure out, okay, really, that's it. Because usually when you're a startup, you are just waiting for the next round, and your burning rate is high. But what all the investors is expecting, that you have a sometimes losing some words, but you have to have a clear vision when you have a positive cash flow in your company. Not only when you have the break even, and when you go beyond that. And you have sometimes when you just love your product or your innovation, that is happening actually for me sometimes as well, when I think that, wow, this is something that you come out with your program or something, then you don't share that too much with anybody, so you get stuck with that. And that's what we call, and everybody's calling that it as a pit hole. And I actually, this is Jason Jay from MIT, who have thought about this. To add, other thing is this that you get, what is it, the word, dead end in there, that you have so much belief on your own belief behind the product that your stakeholders and customers doesn't really believe you. So that's sort of also, you have to rethink that, are you really right, and what could be actually sort of not the compromise, that take your customers and stakeholders with you and started to figure out what would be the actual the thing that we could do together. And sometimes you have to leave the brilliant idea if you are alone with that. That's also very hard, but you have to. Many companies said that it's very hard, you know, once you have this idea, but just wait for the next one. And then you come in a situation where you have to figure out what we are, what we do, where does the money come. That's actually our first job here. And also that you have sort of saying is that you have to kill your babies. So if your baby doesn't bring you anything, but you love it yourself, you really have to get rid of that. And one thing is sometimes also that if you don't have right clients, you have to really find out those who are really your clients, that really bring in the money, or are they just there for entertainment? But I will come to that too as well. Sort of traditional business planning is as you can see, is sometimes very sort of painful and long. Of course, you have to do that. You have to start somewhere. When these bigger companies make a turnaround, they start with the small, they start with piloting, but of course the big engine is there behind, working on different plans, making feasibilities, making DDs on some material, making tests, making everything sort of, it's a huge process. But also with many other companies where you have to have an actual knowledge what you really do and how, and not just bring in, hey, we have an idea, let's bring it on. But this is sort of also serial. The other thing is this type of serial entrepreneur thinking that, hey, it's starting with your own. Who am I? What can I do? Hey, what do you need? Then you have some partners, maybe new means, new goals, and just bringing on new all the time. But this is sort of think, act, learn, very fast process there. But it's both are okay. It depends on your business, your market, your customers, where you can really bring value. And this is also, this is my fantastic slide. We talk a lot about customer driven, and I talk more about customer orientation. It must be there, and customers sort of drive there. But I have there is also a pitfall there if you just follow your customer. I have a picture of that next one. So you have to go to where the biggest market is in the future as well. If you just concentrate to love your client, you end up also in a dead end, because you have to see beyond that. And you have to really see that, hey, what is really the market going, and what will be there in a pipeline that we have next. And if you are sales driven, you usually go for a short sales. You not like selling short, but you go only for a short period of time when you try to earn as much, and that ends up you in the sort of pitfall as well, because you can end up in a situation that they are not actually what is it, the word, it doesn't actually bring you money, so you lose money than you gain actually at the end. In the long run, it doesn't really work. So you really have to have a longer term idea. Where are you aiming to? What you are really doing, to have a certain goal where you are heading to. And is this just? Of course, if you are in crisis, you sell everything as much as possible and try to get as many customers as you can get. But usually, as a long run, it doesn't make sense. You don't. I forgot one important word. It's coming. And of course, technology must be there behind. And in some cases, yes, you have a sort of, what is it? When you talk about your design, it's sort of design that is really taking to market. If you have an innovation that really is something really, really new, of course you go for that. When everybody just waiting for your tech, investing in that, and for example, waiting the revenue to come after some years. Many companies are still in that phase. But if you really want to have a viable business, you really have to have there in your pipeline the that this business will be viable and sustainable, viable in the future as well. And this is about the customer. This is some of these it's still in Finnish, but if you love your customer, it's very good that business value is actually not so big because you don't think about that too much, and it's never-ending story. The needs and expectations from your customer is growing and growing and growing. You have to then be very sure how you decide which customer is one for you and which you want to work with and so on. Because this in the beginning, of course, you have to get some customers where you start to pilot and you have to have or do experiments. But usually the problem is that sometimes you end up with one customer, and that's one of our biggest problem and barrier of scaling your business as well. So remember, this is very simple, but you have to have balance with the income and customer maintenance and management and taking care of your customer. Some words are still there, but they are coming. Sorry. So this is sort of old one positioning, but you really should know that in which business you are, and this is kind of still okay. This is more like best product leadership, technology driven. Yes, very good. You have something new, or you can differentiate. Or is it your operational excellence? Is it your processes that is the sort of winning solution for your customer? And that's something usually, for example, the big consulting agencies have sort of that advantage, but they lost their customer intimacy. And so this is sort of more customer responsive. You are very fast, very flexible, not too flexible, but really taking care of the solutions that you can provide to your customer. So this is very sort of simple way of thinking of that what we really do. We have something specific in this field, or are we for the customers value as 100%, and we can bring in the solutions that really fits our customer, or is it the product levers, technological advantages? And this is very simplified thing. So you have to have the cost dimension there when you think about the value innovation, which really brings also the monetary value to your company as well. And this is thinking about your customer. You're diminishing the costs, the CapEx, the operational capital expenditure, or are you there also for making very good capital expenditure in your customer, meaning that do you provide something new that brings them a new value, and then that requires investment from your customer as well. It can be a platform, it can be a product, it can be something immaterial, it can be a concept, it can be something else. But you need both in order to get your customer. It has to have benefits also internal to your customers' internal operations. And yes, this is about value which you bring into your whole ecosystem. You just have to understand this. But now we start to think. This is very simple one. Where can I see people here? So I think that you have. This is sort of. I've been maturing you to do this work, And this is very, very simple, where you should, very horrible picture, but it's made by me actually, this was my last night's work. So there is this method called 3C, where you figure out your customers, your competitors, and company. But my task for you, I think you have teams, but you could start with writing. If you have a pen and paper, put 3 circles there and put inside passion. What is really your passion, your main passion? And actually, why is it important? It has to be something that your customers share with you. If it's just your own, rethink that. So put up your passion and then write some your optional or possible potential customer. Then you think about where you are best at, and really best. Like I showed you, is it about the product? Is it about the customer? Is it about the process? Is it something totally else? And then if you find that, okay, that's what we are, but first think this by yourself and then with your team. And what drives our economic engine? That means in real language is that where does your money come from? Really, and figure out your company. What are the most important drivers there that brings you the money inside? And these 3 things are the basics that you build up your business model. Because after this, I just show you, we go, why is it like that? Sorry. Now, so then we start to figure out to put these issues in the business canvas. And this we don't do too much. This is just exploring this business model canvas. But what we do after that, and then we do some sort of testing. Is it really viable? And then we do the pitching model. I don't know if you have done it, but it's very good way a very simple way to define the core of your business. But we start with this because this is rather good thing to start. Does your team share your ideas with you? Is it so that everybody's thinking the same? Or if you are not, if you're just alone, you really should think about, if you have a passion, is it the same passion that your customers share? If you are the best, who are your competitors, and what are their claims? What is your company really? Where does your company bring in? What drives the economic engine in your company? What function is it? What business model is it? What really is the one that brings in the money? And then you should optimize, of course, that part of your business model. How to really focus on that, and all the other operations, functions, that processes are supporting that one. Otherwise, it's a company that really doing fantastic things, but doesn't bring in any economic value, which everybody then from the beginning, the investors wants to see as well. And then we can think later on the break even. But do you copy what I'm saying? And now you can ask questions and things like that. And Mikko, is this possible to do, to share people, to figure out these 3 things?
Yes, I've already made the rooms according to the team name, so I can open the rooms. Is it okay to do it now?
Are you still hanging in there? Are you following my way of thinking? So actually, all of this material, we can end up with the very, very core things when you are thinking about your business model. This can handle your whole business, or this can handle, if you have several thoughts of your business model, take one which is most important for you. Passion, money, the best. Remember, that's a very, very good rule. And what is the component that combines all of these? And think who is actually sharing your ideas. Customer, in your company, competitors. So piece of paper is very good help tool for this. You don't need, but I don't know if everybody have nowadays. Is it only, you can do it here as well if you need it. For me, it's still, I still love to do horrible notes and writings and ideas. This is value change, changing the value chains. But very simple. I start with those which comes to your mind, and it's very nice also not to sell them in the beginning to your teammates if you have a same project. So in that way you will see, are you really sharing same thoughts? Are you in the same level? And the word was actually dominant design. That's what you, if you have a really innovation that really dominates the market, just bring it in as it is. Many startups are very sort of bold in their idea. Sometimes it works, really. And if they really have it, so just bring it in. If you have it really, but then you have to have a POC, proof of concept. How many teams we have, Mikko, actually?
I counted 8 teams.
Okay, so that is not too much. And each of these teams, there are more than one member.
Around half of them have one member.
All right. But it would be very nice to hear each of one could, because we actually have good time for this, because this is essential when you start to fill in also and start to explore the business model canvas. So it would be very nice to hear, and if you can really already do one slide of that, so, but it's not that you don't have to, but you can just tell that. And this is actually a real model that is used. It's called 3C model, but I have modified that a bit because I think that these are the behind of this must be those players who are you playing with. Meaning, if you have some passion, if you have it on your own, be my guest, but it doesn't bring you much customers, for example. I take this. If you could indicate to me when somebody wants to present their ideas and thoughts, I will just take a cup of coffee here between just quickly. So let's see how. I see.
Maybe in the right hand side you should see join button if you see the breakout rooms. If not, try to. If you see the navigation bar down below, there's breakout rooms. If you click that, then you can click join on each one of them.
Let's see. I disable. Join. I found it. It's in more. I have a more button where I found it.
Okay.
Join breakout. So I can jump from different breakout room to another.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we get. Is it still there that everybody can then share the ideas? You know, everybody
together.
Yeah.
Yes, I can close the breakout rooms.
How much more do we have time?
We have 1 hour.
Yeah, but in the breakout rooms, you think 5 minutes still?
Something like that, maybe 7 minutes or
all right.
Okay, yes.
The great difference between our project and systems, test systems that are in the market, that we can not only see the presence or not presence of the disease, but to see the stage. So we have I'm sorry, I forgot the word.
Okay.
So.
All right, but I got it. So how you these are, of course, this technology is now you are describing what is that you actually, what is your sort of product and what is that you sell as an in very technical way, and a lot about features. But how are you going to make the scale? What is the earning model? Is it that when you are B2C market, you need to leverage. So how you do that? How you scale that?
We are going to work with Outotec.
Okay,
so,
very good. So that would be your sort of resellers there.
Yeah, something like
that. So it's an actual product that you can buy from, pharmacy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What would be the price? About
the price.
About. Is it like 100 euros or 5 euros?
It will be about 17 to 80 euros.
Okay.
About.
And
it's for device and for test strips, and the idea is to use I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I think that it's excellent, and of course I think that I don't know how far you are right now, but of course that how you really make the scale and how you is it sales of or then you have the maintenance sort of services there behind where you do the diagnosis and different type of services you provide, and people can also make some sort of subscription or something.
Yeah. So our idea is to have paid subscription to the application and to many different tools with the results. So these tools will be payable.
Very good. Okay. Hey, thank you very much to all. I was very impressed, and I think that why we do this is these are with the help of starting to think the core, the going deep in your thoughts, what we are there for, what we are actually doing, and how, and because it's not just that we are inventing a new innovation or inventing new product and bringing in all the technology. You have to have the kind of uniting people idea there behind. We have to have a passion for getting people more healthier, and something that you really share that as a sort of soft values behind. And then you all understand that as a company, you really have to be sure and concentrate more always on the benefits. What is it the value that you bring? What we do bring our customers? Why we are better? Of course, it can be the technology advanced. Like I said, you have a dominant design, just do it and go for market, and somebody bigger will usually help you. But don't be by yourself too long, because then you end up in a pitfall. But now when we continue, we don't have too much time. So the idea is next. Now you have actually the ingredients, more or less, you have written those on paper. You have started to think about really the fundamental of your business issues. So now you are capable of starting to fill in the business canvas. And I think that Mikko has shared that all with you, and also the actual sort of work that we do. We first explore. So I want to get familiarized with these tools, because they are so simple, but they are so good. And afterwards, you can bring in all type of different type of features and things. For example, the risks, the actual size of market, calculations, cash flow, investment needs, bam, bam, bam. But you first start with these sort of fundamentals must be there, together with your teammates who will be your partners, stakeholders in your company. And then you go further. And many times when you hear this, because everybody's saying that we are best. Yes, but how about this? Yeah, but they don't have this and that. But I be sure that what you are. And the second thing is that what I liked here, that you come so close to your customer. Not saying that, hey, we are healing the whole world, or we are halving the CO2 emissions in 5 years or something like that. That's sort of saving the world. That must be there behind. But tell me what you do, what the value is to your customer. And that's why I hope I find the share screen here. And this is very simple actually to start with what we just did. And I thank you for that, that you were very, very good thinking about. And here in the middle, there should be this sort of thing that brings us all together. Our passion is, it can be quality, it can be, but sure, whatever it is, we want to have everybody a healthier world by something. Everybody should run a bike or whatever it is, but it has to be something actually that we want to have an oh shit, I have to just send. So that everybody, what I was that really thinking about this is not just it's a funny picture, but it actually gives you, opens up the all sort of gridlocks that you might have there in your mind. And now we explore this one. So you have all of these helping tools. So simplified, what is this business model? It helps you clarify your whole business plan. And whilst, and this is very, what is your vision? What is your, why are we, what is the fundamental that we are? We want to be your life reliever, whatever that's, but be more closely to the reality. Long-term vision and where you want to be. Everybody wants to be the best. So go beyond that. And then you start to figure out market. And like I told you, the beginning, I think this brings you the first line, the upper line in your company. If without that, you don't have the company actually. But of course, and so this is market, your customer, and it has different dimensions there. And this is the offering, what you have, and you have really already talked about before the value proposition. What are the products? What is coming in next, and so on and so on. This is, like I told you, simplified, but this is good starting point. And after this, you can start to write your. So you fill in this platform. No, what is this canvas? And what is the operate? This means that how you do this, how you take these customers, how you create this offering, what type of processes, functions, technologies, capabilities is very important. What type of capabilities we have in order to do this implementation, key resources, what is the next technology, what do we have there, which is something that others don't have as well. But this was about the, as I told you, the it must be there. The customer side, you have to have the passion that you're bringing these. You have to have the company's offering, which was the company, and this was the operational model where you are better than the others. Of course, it is the two things that makes you better. How you deliver actually is the point. And financial aspects, you can have more of the revenue stream, core structure, what are the risks, intangibles, there must be some there behind. And if you have, think about your IPRs and things like that, but there must be something like know-how behind that. And think about your ecosystem. Who do you need? And there are more than these. There are different type of powerhouses or service providers or things like that. But this is, as I told you, very simplified. But after that, it's very, very easy to go further. And actually, if you download these playbooks, it also have chapters to support you. But that's just one tool, but it's very rather simple and helpful. So, and once you have started to go deep in your what you really are, what you really do, where you are best, and really think it out, where does the money come? Put it structurally, put that in your canvas, boom, 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 and then you can further develop it. But these are the all elements that you need to attract investors, and this is what we can still do here in the and this is what is NABC, and actually there is A as well. This is a model of Stanford research institute developed about, let's say, 10 years ago, when the IT but also clean tech companies were booming. So everybody were usually, when you have a clean tech company or technology company, they usually pitch about the technology and not about these issues that is there. So it's need. What is it that is now needed? And you have to have a sort of hook, not just that everybody is hungry or world is doing bad. I have a an solution for that, or an solution for that. Approach. What is your approach? Like we just went through. We have this sort of approach that then you tell, okay, we have this solution, we are doing this, and who you can add there as well, that who we are and what are the our capabilities, and what is actually that what you are actually doing, and then you tell the benefits. Why is it better than the others? And in approach you can figure out what are the essential things in your approach. And competition, no, there is no competition, there is always, and look out for those as well. And here you have the actual story behind this. Is very, very, I like that, because there are no nonsense in this, and that's why it's very, very good. And what are the customers, users, what is it that actually use it? What is it that they need? What is the compelling solution? So like I told you, you have to have something in the need as well. What is the problem there that your customers have that you can solve? Boom, that's sort of, oh really, is that sort of problem? Oh, you have a solution for that. And then you have the approach. How do we do that? And how does it benefit from the others? And then who are these others? Why are you better? And this is the core. But then I have other A, which is here, as you can see, the action. Describe what you are what your challenges are, what are needs to be done next. This I wrote this because usually you have an audience, and you say that this is all what this is what is needed. This is our approach. Why is better than others? Is there competition? No, there is, but that's why it's bad. Our is better. And then you have, I'm looking for what is our next. We need to test this. We need to have a market study. We need to have this and that. We are looking for money, for example. And then you show how we're going to use that. So this is still, and now the idea is that you next time that you will make a presentation, you can do that with this template, based on this template, not using this one only, but this is very, very helpful to clarify to your audience what you are there for. What is the need that is unmet? Why are we there? Our approach is this. We're gonna test. We're going to do this, and earning model is that usually it's this, but we have a subscription, and then we have a sort of ongoing service there, which they pay by use, but subscription is monthly or something. What else? And the others, and this is very beneficial. And why does it better? What does it really do? The competitions, and what is that you are looking for now? What you are aiming to now? What does it cost? And what do you need? And how are you gonna use it? And I would like to now, and this is a sort of a test. If you have, and I think this is, I will send you this presentation to all. I send it as a PDF. So, and this is something that is actually very good. Now I take this column away. So this is also, think about this. This is sort of, is this really viable? You can do that once you have filled this in, or there between, and thinking this again and again and again. Is there really what are the exceptional benefits? Do we have those? Yes, we do. We are sure for that. Or no? Hey, let's figure this out again. Okay. Is that price something that your target group and actually this client is willing to pay? No, they are not all, but these are, okay, we could have like premium service maybe for them, and then we could have like more simple solution for these people, but we are certainly not in this price because our competitors' price is this, but or overall price is much more costly for our customer in the long run, or whatever. Why is it acceptable? Cost. This is something very important, because usually the pricing model is price is too low. It could cover your cost, but it doesn't bring you any profit. So that's why I have the saying of, does it cover your profit? And where is it? What is your goal there? How much you think that your upside should be? Yes, no. Deploy. How can we deploy this? Are we ready? Is there barriers, obstacles? Yes, there are. Okay, yes, there are. We know those. For example, that in the pharmacy, they are not used to sell these type of products. Okay, let's have a training system for them, or whatever is needed. Or, okay, it doesn't work. Let's think it that once again. And then you have have come to the end that this is really viable. This will really be a good business model for us, and we will actually earn money as well, and be able to go further, and be able to invest and attract investor. So then you do the proof of concept and really tell that, yes, do that. After this, you have done the sort of checklist for you. Okay, now we are ready to go market, and then you can continue to do this need, approach, benefits, competition, and then also what you are asking from your customers. So these are very simple tools, easy to use, but helps you a lot to clarify, to define your business. What is the value that we bring to our customer, and how do we actually, are we capable of going further? And these are the I think Elon Musk have many rules and sort of, but what I liked, I took this one. I think it was in Economist or something. Was it in some other publication online that these came out? But keep this proudly in mind. Create amazing products, amazing meats that it really has also something that your customers really share your passion with you. That's when it comes amazing. Not just the features, but also what is the really outcome for your customer, that they really begins to love you and your product. And spend less time in meeting rooms. Okay, laboratory, yes. Testing, yes. Go to and talk with your future customers. Think who is the most important. Talk with the developers, technology providers, but not too much, and figuring out what we are, because these simple tools help you a lot to clarify that. And then you can write that as long pages as you want. And the rule, which I'm always saying, that you have to, business model should be one, that once you are conducting your business and you have gone beyond the break even, you should have in your balance, in your in your books, you should have more money in the evening and you had in the morning. So output must be bigger than input. If you have a sort of business where you love your customer and you put more investment every day, it will be a sort of never-ending story, but and lovely, but you are just doing nice to somebody else, and it doesn't have a long future as it should have. So on my behalf, I thank you a lot, and I really hope that you really can use these tools to bring you further. I have spoken. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jyri. Jyri will send the slides to me and I will forward them to you.
Yes.
Right? And then, also the business model canvas template, you have it, the pitching template, you have it. On 31st of May, we have this demo day. Then you can use that template when you're presenting to investors. It seems like a good. But
when is it actually?
31st of May, so the end of May, and
31st.
Maybe 10 a.m. haven't decided on the time yet, Jyri, you are invited as well.
Okay, very good. And I really encourage you to use the NABC model, because we have actually done that with many startups while I was working in Tekes and some other with this. I had like many best maybe companies in Finland in cleantech then, and we also had one course in Los Angeles Cleantech Incubator, but then we had also these training sessions where we learned to use this template, and it's actually very good. For example, Altum Technology, they won the slush pitching competition then that year, and they were very happy that they started. And actually, you're actually presenting very well. And start with those core issues. Start to think about those. Then go to the business canvas and clarify all the time. Try to make the very complicated issues as clear as possible, and then you make it. And remember, make amazing products and services, and the future is bright. Okay, thank you very much to all of you. I really liked your business ideas. It was fantastic. I like this. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thanks again, Jyri. I think we are going to wrap it up right now. Yep. 12th of May is the next workshop. We're going to look at team dynamics and organization skills on how to run your company. So see you at that time. You have the calendar. And thanks again, Jyri. Thanks for the participants. And see you later.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.